Shalom. First and foremost, as usual, before I begin with this lesson, I'm going to start it off by saying, Call Halal Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah. Those are the names of the Heavenly Father as well as His Son in the ancient Hebrew, the Lashma Kodash, which means the Holy Tongue, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. Double honor to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone, who I'm taught and do learn this truth 100% from. Peace and blessings be to you, Wakim, who is serving Yahweh Shema Shah in sincerity, hoping for mercy, as well as salvation in these latter days, man. Shalom and Yahweh Shema Shah Barakathon. So this is gonna be a quick hit concerning the mark of the beast. Alright, because I seen a video that the Apostle Hart put out sometime last week on these ISUPK cats, man. And really at this point, if you still follow these niggas, you just want to be led astray. Alright, I'm convinced that if you still follow these groups, IUIC, WFI, ISUPK, you simply just in the truth for entertainment. Alright, because there ain't no way in the fuck y'all believe that what they're teaching is the correct doctrine. Alright, now, yeah, they can teach you that you're so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, right? That, you know, we're the 12 tribes, right? But these cats don't go on a prophecy, all right? And when they do go on a prophecy, they butcher the damn scriptures, man, all right? Especially concerning the mark of the beast topic, all right? Which is a heavy prophecy, right? If they tell you that it don't matter, right? If they tell you that it's anything other than the mark, the RFID microchip, all right, then they leading your ass astray, man. All right, so for you Jakes, all right, you better stick to what's right. All right, you better get on that shit. All right, because the Lord is getting ready to show you that these niggas didn't have it. All right, that these niggas didn't have it this whole time. And as the brothers say, once Esau really pushes the mark of the beast, right, we believe through the Spirit that a lot of your members in the congregation is gonna leave. All right, because then if it ain't the mark of the beast and your members come up to you, ask you, can we take it? What are you gonna tell them? All right, you gonna tell them no? Well, if it ain't the mark of the beast, then why not take it, right? Just like how a lot of you niggas was telling Jake to take that damn C-19 jump shot, man. All right, Captain Tazariak. I'm gonna stop being weak. I'm gonna show you how to be strong and take it. Don't even know what this man just put inside your damn body, man. Nah, but I wouldn't be surprised if Esau, you know what I'm saying, you nigga, it's clear that you niggas done saw that, especially IUIC, right? This is well documented, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if Esau used, you know what I'm saying, these camp leaders, right, to get you Jakes to bow down and conform to the image of the beast, man. Alright, but nonetheless, this is something that I wanted to get into because you still got camps, even though prophecy is screaming out loud that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. You still got camps out here teaching that it's something else. Alright, and this is why, you know, when you watch like the WFI breakdown, you know, these niggas went into a whole 4-hour breakdown, right, and said a whole lot of nothing, right, and still didn't break down the buying and selling part, right, didn't break down the, you know, okay, if it's Christianity, and explain the miracles that the beast was going to be performing. How the fuck is it Christianity, right? How does the miracles tie into Christianity? How does the miracles tie in with the sin, right? How does the miracles tie in with white women? Right, these are the type of questions that you, Jake, gotta ask, man. A lot of you niggas is really just parrots. You just repeat and mock exactly what your damn leaders tell you, man. Right? A lot of Jake ain't really in this thing out of the sincerity of their heart, man. And that shit's gonna show, you know what I'm saying, whenever Esau crashes this system, man. Right? That shit is gonna show. It's gonna be known, you know, who was doing what was right, and who was learning what was right, and who wasn't, man. Right? Because you're going to see niggas with them fringes in them concentration camp lines taking that technology, man. All right. But this is why it's important to go into the definition of words, and I mean going into the Strong's Concordance, the Edom online, so you can get the proper understanding of of what the scriptures is going into, man. Right? Because just like, for an example, world, you read that in John 3:16, you're gonna think that's referring to everybody, man. But then when you go into the context, and then you go into the definition of what the word truly meant, all right, then you be like, damn, it wasn't talking about everybody, man. All right. It's the same thing when it comes to concerning prophecy, certain prophecies, such as the MOTB. When you go into that word mark, all right, it's gonna show you that it can't be fucking sin. All right. And if it was sin, nobody would be able to repent. All right. You niggas are through. You are lost, man. All right. But nonetheless, you just doing nothing other than what Yahweh Shemashah wants you to do, because as the scriptures say, the deceived and the deceiver are his, man. I'm just glad that I'm on the side that's teaching what's right. All right. I'd rather you niggas than me. You know what I'm saying? As bros say, you just make it easier for us to be a part of the elect, and Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. Right? Because we too late in the motherfucking game for Jake to be thinking that the MOTB is something else other than what it is, when this man is making that push, right, with his digital system, his technocracy. All right, here you got motherfuckers taking, Neuralink trials with that RFID microchip. You know what I'm saying? Showing you the miracles of the beast on the left-hand side. Motherfuckers wasn't able to walk. They was paralyzed, now they're able to walk. You know what I'm saying? They were blind, now they can see. They can play chess just off the thought of it. You feel me? But niggas think that the MOTB is sin or Christianity. Man, y'all are through. But this is we're gonna get straight to the point. This is Revelations 13. As a matter of fact, let's start at 14. It says, and he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. And Esau is not going to deceive you to the point where, you know what I mean, he going to try to trick you into taking it. All right, because the shit is screaming loud and clear that it's the mark of the beast. It's too much information coming out. All right, just like how he didn't deceive you into taking that C19 jump shot. You're going to have to make a clear and conscious decision on if you're going to take it or not. All right? But how it's going to deceive you is when Jake see these miracles, and they're going to make it seem like it's the best new thing, man. All right? It's the greatest new thing. All right? They're going to make it seem like, this is the new way. All right? Look, we're able to, people who have these different, bodily afflictions, we're able to, present them this technology to help them for their betterment. All right? Anybody that says that, you shouldn't take this, they're against, humanity. All right? They're going to be showing you, they're going to be using fucking celebrities, you know what I'm saying, to hype this shit up. All right? Look how cool this shit is. You feel me? Showing you different things that they can do just by the thought of it. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking of some shit. All right? Pulling up a hologram, some crazy shit, man. All right? And a lot of Jake is going to fall for it. Just like when they was pushing out the C19 jump shot, and you had that Edomite at the desk. This nigga was talking about, you mean to tell me that I can get this burger and these fries just for going to get in the C19 jump shot? And I'm pretty sure you had a lot of dumb niggas go and take that shit just off of free burger and fries, man. Nigga, that was giving out free weed and shit. And I heard about how Jake was in line for that damn free weed. Alright? It ain't gonna be no different, man. Alright? And we know that there's gonna be a lot of our people that's gonna bow down to the image of the beast. Alright? But you niggas can't say that y'all wasn't warned, man. Alright? It's too much information and too much proof in the pudding, right, to sit here and be oblivious and shit. Too much damn proof, man. But it says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by his sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So you mean to tell me that if the mark of the beast was saying that Esau gonna kill you for sinning? Esau gonna kill you for worshiping Christianity, some shit that he pushed on you niggas in the first place? Nah, it just don't make sense. Alright? And he causes all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Alright? And I remember IUIC, they said, what if I take it in my butt cheek? Because it said what, right hand? It said the right hand. But then when you go to Revelation the 14th chapter, it said in their hands. It don't matter which hand you take it in. John the Revelator just seen in his vision, he just seen people taking it in their right hand. That don't mean that they wasn't taking it in either or. Nah, you niggas is simple. Yeah, and if you take it in your butt cheek, your ass still gonna get destroyed. You could take it in your foot, you still gonna eat a missile. Once you put that technology in your body, you basically have said that the so-called white man is your God, all right? And there's nothing that the Most High can do for you. All right, the Most High can't do shit with you. You basically become a product of the so-called white man. That's the highest form of idolatry. All right, because they're gonna make you a perpetual slave, man. All right, you take that damn technology, they might fuck around and completely that shit might do something to your pineal gland, right? Your pineal gland, where you have no sense of spirituality whatsoever. Like, I look at that one Jake who got that chip in his damn brain. You know what I'm saying? Under the Neuralink trial. You know, dude, before that, he just looked bugged the fuck out now. He looked like he ain't even got no soul, man. All right? Once you take that chip, that's the highest form of idolatry, man. All right? You basically say that the so-called white man is your God, man. You basically pledged allegiance with Satan. All right? And the punishment for that is going to be them nuclear missiles. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, right? And if it's Christianity, how the fuck will explain the buying and selling part? All right? If it was sin, explain the buying and selling part. And I remember Captain Cesario, when it goes into receiving a mark in your right hand or on your forehead, he tried to say that goes into your mind and also into your works. Bugged out. Bugged out, man. All right? And you know that these niggas not in the right spirit because they still going on podcasts trying to debate Christians over topics that we done explained 100 times. Why is you niggas still going on podcasts debating Christians about the Gentiles, man? Them niggas if they don't get it, oh fucking well. Right? A lot of these dudes is really just being the truth, right? They use the truth for filthy lucre's sake, right? For attention and views and shit. Right, to try to win a debate, try to get another off winning a debate or something, man. That ain't what the truth is about, man. This thing is a matter of life or death. Right, we coming to that time where you gonna have to stand stiffly for the name of the Lord, and if you don't, all right, then the chances are you're not a part of the elect. You ain't gonna be a part of the elect if you don't stand stiffly for the Lord, man. Alright, you're not supposed to be using this time to fucking do debates and man, you're supposed to be getting yourself built up in the spirit because we all getting ready to face a time of great temptation, man. Temptation that is gonna be far more beyond anything that we've ever experienced, man. Jake is getting ready to lose every damn thing, man. Alright, Jake is getting ready to lose family. Alright, brothers, women may step out on him. Brothers' children may step out on them. Shit, brothers may have to lay you do have brothers that's gonna have to lay their life down for the testimony of Yahushua for not receiving that, receiving the mark of the beast, man. You niggas don't touch up on that. If it's Christianity or if it's sin or white women, then explain Revelations 20 and 4. Right? When John saw the souls of them beheaded, right, that didn't receive the mark. So we just gonna get our head chopped off for it. Come on, bro. Don't make no sense. It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And we know that the number of his name, when you go into the 18th verse, is 666, because at the beginning, middle, and end of that barcode is 6, 6, and 6. All right. But what I want to do, I got it pulled up on my Xbox. I got the blue letter pulled up. Let's go to Revelation 13 and 16 and grab the Strong's Concordance for that word mark, so we can understand what exactly it's going into. Because I mentioned, I want to read this as well because I forgot to bring this out. Let's go to the Apocrypha in Ecclesiasticus, the first chapter, all right, also known as the Wisdom of Yahushua, the son of Sirach. This is the prologue. And as a matter of fact, I could probably put it up in the camera. All right, this is the prologue. It says, wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law in itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. So this is why it's important to go into the definition of words so that you can get the proper understanding. All right, because you may have one word, right? In the Greek, it has three different definitions, man. Right, so you have to go into the etymology, right, to the Strong's Concordance to see exactly what that's talking about, man. So you can understand what the scripture means, man. All right, so let's go to Revelation 13. And I think here, yeah, there we go, Con. Yo, so let's go to that word mark. All right, Charagma. I think that's how you say it. Let's play it.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Charagma. I'll play it one more time.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
All right. And when we go into the Strong's Concordance, right, for the word mark, graven, a stamp, an imprinted mark, all right, thing carved, sculpture of idolatrous images, right? And another point to make on that, because I mentioned that it was the highest form of idolatry. As a matter of fact, let's go to that in 2nd Ezra 16. 2nd Ezra 16, in verses 68, it says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And that burning wrath of a great multitude is going into the military, right? Because once they completely break this system down, right, this society is going to go into a full state of anarchy. So in order to control the people in Babylon, they're going to have to usher in the military, which will not be the United States military, by the way, right? They already passed, or they're working on passing that bill, right? The NDAA 227 Act, right, to merge the United States military with the IDF, right? Because they know that this shit is gonna get out of order, right? So they're gonna need to bring people over here that are more than willing to bust the infant upside the head, right? To get you motherfuckers to act right, all right? You know, they're gonna have to, you know, bring somebody over here who's gonna be willing to mow a whole apartment complex down just to prove a point, to get y'all ass in line. And who else is better to do the job of that, right, than the IDF, man? All right? So, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. All right? You're going to get locked into these FEMA camps, and they're going to try to convince you to take that ultimate idol, which is going to be their microchip. All right? But me see. I believe it's this. Yep. Crocs. I think that's how you say it.
Strong's G 5482.
Harak. Alright. A pale or stake. A palisade. Alright, so what we can do. Let's look it up. Damn. Let's look up what a palisade is. That shit gonna pull up cars. You know what we're gonna do? There we go. Now, this is what a stake is. All right, when you go back to Crocs, a pale or stake. All right. This is what John saw. All right. And what does it look like? It looks like that device used to make an incision in your flesh to inject you with something, correct? This is what he saw. This is the definition of that word. And what Jay got to realize, man, all right, when you read these scriptures, you got to put your mind in the mind of the prophets, man. Right? When the Lord was showing them these visions, they didn't truly understand what they were being shown. Right? They just described the visions to the best of their ability, right? To the technology or to things that they would use back then, like missiles. John the Revelator, he didn't know what the fuck a missile was. This is why he described it as a star falling from the heavens, right? A arrow, because that's what it resembles, right? That device that they use, that needle, right there, that syringe, this is what it looks like. All right? You can see the resemblance. This is what John had saw, man. All right, let's look up, let me type in pill or steak. God. Some Follywood pop up. It's called Wild and Straight. All right. But y'all pretty much get the point. All right. That's what he saw, man. All right. Is there anything left on this? Grapho. To write with reference to the form of letters, grapho. Alright. And when you take that MOTB, you basically sign your life away, man. Right? You would basically sign your name in blood, right, to the so-called white man that you are a product of his, that you belong to him. What JB saying in the industry? When they sell, that they signed their name in blood, man. They signed a letter in blood, a contract in blood, man. That's basically what you do, right? Once you take this, right? You ain't doing it literally, but you doing it spiritually, man. All right? So, you know, with that being said, I don't want to say this lesson was edifying. I believe I did, you know, pretty much put the nail in the coffin. All right, went into the Strong's Concordance, right? You know, for the word mark, you know, in 3 different, you know, root words, all right, to prove that it's not going into Christianity, it's not going into fucking white women, all right, it's not going into, you know, whatever, all right, it's not going into an embargo or, you know, whatever that goofy shit, you know what I'm saying, they be saying, man, all right, it is that technology, right, that the so-called white man is going to use on the left-hand side, man, right, to usher in this new technocratic digital system, man. So with that being said, Shalom, Yahabashima Shabrakatham, and about